So we have this scroll that we made in Blender. And if we take a look at it, we've got this scroll that sort of furls and unfurls, opens and closes. I'd like to break it up into two animations, one that specifically opens and one that specifically closes. And rather than doing it in Blender, I think I'm going to do it here. So first of all, let's create an animation controller. And we will call it just scroll anim. And we will grab it and we will apply it to the fireball scroll that I brought into the scene. If we go ahead and take a look, nothing there. Let's just drag the animation called scene into this. And when we go ahead and play, we'll see that it now should open and close within the scene. If I want to go ahead and edit it though, it's a read only. Let's just take a moment to dock this right here. I think what I'll do is I will go ahead and select the scene animation and I will just go up to edit and duplicate. And we will call this close scroll. And while we're at it, we'll do it again. Edit, duplicate, and this one we will call open scroll. Back to our animator. Let's bring these each into the scene. And let's just go ahead and make a connection between the entry and the open and the close. And what the heck, we'll do the close back to the open so that we can watch this repeat over and over. That'll do for now. And I guess let's make this the default state. That done, let's take a look at the animation and see if we can make some edits. It's not letting me. Well, maybe it would help if I go ahead and select the actual item. There, now I can change to close scroll, open scroll, etc. So open scroll, let's just go ahead and select all of these keyframes and just delete them. Should be that simple, right? Let's go to close scroll and we'll do the same thing, except we're going to delete all the keyframes on the front end. Let's see how that works for me. We'll go ahead and just push play in the scene and see how beautiful this looks. Uh-oh, that's not right. All right, well, let's see if we can fix that, shall we? I don't know if something happened within Blender, within Unity specifically, or in translation, but maybe I'll just see if I can take a look at this right now within what I'm doing. So again, just going back to open scroll, for example, let's just play it within the animator. And okay, something's happening right about here. Let's go back to the beginning and just scrub through. So I've jumped to the beginning. Rather than pushing play, I'll just jump through sort of keyframe by keyframe and watch when things happen. Well, nothing particular that's different. However, maybe if we dig into things and look at, well, there's our bottom handle rotation and there's our top handle rotation. Let's just go back and scrub back 1 or 2 frames. All right, everything was sitting at 0 in all those frames until right here. We got some weird flipping that's going on. And it flips around to 180 degrees. All right, well, let's just remedy that. Let's go back to here. So everything's at 0 here. And everything here does this weird flip. So it starts at 0. It ends up coming right back around to almost 0. And then it seems to do that again, except ending up at 180. Well, let's just try changing a few numbers. 0, 0, 0, 0. Go to the next keyframe. 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's go back to a few earlier keyframes. Well, the numbers are flipping here, but they're not specifically being set within the keyframes. Let me see. I'll put that at 0. Doesn't seem to be a big difference, but whatever. It still seems to be flipping, even though I changed the numbers at the points of the keyframes. Rather than going through frame by frame and changing every single thing, maybe I can look at the curves and okay, take things to the beginning and push play. Okay, I wonder if that's what's going on. So let's zoom in on these curves. Let's grab this handle right here and see if we can just put it back to a straight line. Let's go ahead and push play. All right, that's much better. So I think I'll go ahead and I'll do the same thing on the close scroll, and we'll see if that fixes our problem. So I'll go back to my dope sheets, go back to the beginning, and we'll just scrub through. The numbers now are 180 on this, so I'm just going to look for where it moves from 180 to 0. All right, so I'm looking here, and this one is flipped at this keyframe from 180 to minus 180. Let's put it back and do the same thing here. Scrub through to the next keyframe. All right, 180 rather than 0. Let's take it to the beginning and push play. All right, we've still got something crazy going, so let's look at the curve. All right, so let's see what we can do to fix these. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, now let's take a look again. We look at our animator. We have an entry, we have the open, we have the close. We go ahead and we push play. And we now have a scroll that has two separate and distinct open and close animations. And currently it's set up to just be able to repeat. That will do for now.